Look at you. Just look at the state of you. You are sitting there, scrolling through this feed, looking for a hit of cheap dopamine, because the reality of your bank account is starting to set in, isn't it? It is that specific time of the year again. The decorations are coming down, the festive lights are being shoved back into dusty boxes in the attic, and the gray, cold, unforgiving reality of January is staring you right in the face. But it is not just the weather that is cold. It is the sudden, violent realization that the fresh start you promised yourself is already dead on arrival. You are not starting fresh. You are starting in a hole. A deep, muddy, expensive hole that you spent the last 2 months digging with a shovel made of plastic credit cards and delusion.
Let's talk about the January hangover. And I am not talking about the headache from the cheap champagne you drank while pretending to like people you despise on New Year's Eve. I am talking about the financial hangover, the one that doesn't go away with aspirin and a greasy breakfast. I want you to visualize the mailbox or the notification on your phone. It is around the 16th of January. That is when the bill comes due. That is when the ghost of Christmas past shows up to collect the soul of your future. You open that statement, and your stomach drops. It is a physical sensation, isn't it? A biological rejection of your own stupidity. You see the number. $3,000? $5,000? Maybe $10,000 if you are one of those premium poor types who thinks love is measured in receipts. And in that moment, the matrix glitches. You realize you have sold the first 3, 4, maybe 6 months of this new year just to pay for a memory that is already fading. You are a rat running on a wheel, but you have greased the wheel with your own blood, and you are wondering why you can't get traction. This is the trap of the financial reset, and it is the single most brilliant piece of engineering the system has ever designed. They have gamified the calendar against you. They have convinced you that January 1st is a magical portal where your sins are washed away. But the math, the cold, hard, unforgiving math of the banking cartel, does not care about your resolutions. It does not care about your New Year, New Me Instagram caption. While you were celebrating the ball drop, the compound interest on your debt was working. It never sleeps. It never takes a holiday. It never gets drunk. It just eats. It eats your labor. It eats your time. And it eats your freedom. You need to understand that this is not an accident. You feeling broke in January is not a bug in the software. It is the main feature. The entire retail infrastructure, the marketing algorithms, the psychological warfare units at the big ad agencies, they spend 11 months of the year planning exactly how to slaughter you in December. They call it Q4, the fourth quarter. To them, you are not a human being with dreams and a family. You are financial slaughter cattle. They need to fatten you up with credit limit increases in October, marinate you in nostalgia and guilt in November, and then butcher your wallet in December so they can hit their year-end bonuses. And you line up for it. You camp out for it. You click Add to Cart with a glaze over your eyes like a zombie, handing over your sovereignty for a piece of plastic junk that will be in a landfill within 18 months. Let's dissect the anatomy of this scam. It starts with the holiday spirit. That is the drug. They weaponize your emotions. They tell you that if you do not buy the latest console, the newest phone, the pile of toys that reaches the ceiling, then you are a failure as a parent. You are a failure as a partner. They monetize your insecurity. They know you are tired. They know you work a job you hate for a boss who sees you as a spreadsheet error. So they sell you a redemption arc. Buy this and your family will be happy. Buy this and you will feel successful. It is a lie. It is a toxic hallucination. But you buy it. You swipe the card. You rationalize it. You say, it's just once a year. I deserve this. I'll figure it out in January. Well, welcome to January. Figure it out. Here is the napkin math that should make you vomit.
Let's say you are the average American rat. You make, let's say, $60,000 a year. After taxes, insurance, and the crumbs they let you keep, you take home maybe $3,800 a month. Your rent or mortgage is $2,000 because the housing market is another cage they built for you. Your car payment, because you have to drive a truck you don't need to impress people at stoplights, is $700. Groceries, utilities, insurance. You have effectively zero disposable income. But in December, you spent $2,000 on gifts, travel, and cheer. You put it on a credit card with 24% interest. Now listen to me closely because this is where they own you. You cannot pay that $2,000 off in January. You don't have the cash. So you pay the minimum, maybe $50. Do you know how long it takes to pay off $2,000 at 24% interest, paying only the minimum? It will take you over 10 years. 10 years. You will be paying for that plastic toy you bought your kid in 2023, when that kid is graduating high school. You are financing trash with your life force. You are selling hours of your life in 2030 to pay for a moment of dopamine in 2023. This is not finance, this is temporal slavery. You are time traveling, but only to steal from your future self to feed the system today. And it gets worse, because the system knows you are going to try to escape. That is why January is also the month of the fitness industry scam. This is the second layer of the trap. You feel guilty about the money, and you feel guilty about the food you ate. So what do? You buy a gym membership. You sign a contract. You buy the supplements. You buy the new workout clothes because you can't possibly lift a weight in an old t-shirt, right? You need the gear to feel like an athlete. That is another $500. Another subscription. The gym business model relies on you failing. They sign up 10,000 members for a gym that holds 300 people. They are betting on your weakness. They are short-selling your discipline. And they win every single time. By February 14th, the gym is empty, but the direct withdrawals from your bank account continue for 12 months. You are paying a tax on your own lack of character. Let's talk about the premium poor. You know who I am talking about. The people in the middle management positions, the ones with the least luxury cars and the heavy watches. The ones who look at the poor with disdain, but are actually in a more precarious position than anyone else. In January, the premium poor are sweating blood. They have to keep up appearances. They spent $10,000 on a ski trip to Aspen or a beach week in Tulum because that's what successful people do. They posted the photos, they got the likes. The digital applause was deafening. But now they are staring at a credit card statement that equals 3 months of their salary. They are shuffling balance transfers like a magician trying to hide a rabbit. 0% APR for 12 months. They think they are gaming the system. They are just tightening the noose. They are moving debt from the left pocket to the right pocket and calling it wealth management. It is pathetic. It is a house of cards built on a foundation of quicksand during an earthquake. You need to understand the concept of toxic leverage. Real leverage is using debt to buy assets that pay you. You use the bank's money to buy an apartment complex, the tenants pay the debt, you keep the equity. That is how the masters of the universe play. What you do is toxic leverage. You use debt to buy liabilities that depreciate. You pay interest on things that lose value. You are literally paying the bank for the privilege of becoming poorer. Every time you swipe that card for a consumer good, you are signing a contract that says, I agree to be a slave for a little while longer. You are trading your sovereignty for stuff. And the worst part, you don't even like the stuff. Go look at the things you bought 3 years ago. Where are they? In the garage? In the trash? You don't even remember them. But you are probably still paying for them if you rolled that debt into a consolidation loan or a mortgage refinance. The January reset is a psychological trick to keep you in the rat race. By wiping your mental slate clean, you allow yourself to make the same mistakes again. You say, this year will be different, but you change nothing about your behavior. You don't change your inputs, but you expect a different output. That is the definition of insanity, and it is the fuel of the economy. If everyone woke up tomorrow and decided to stop buying things they didn't need with money they didn't have, the global economy would collapse within 48 hours. The system needs you to be stupid. It needs you to be impulsive. It needs you to be financially illiterate. They stopped teaching personal finance in schools for a reason. They don't want a nation of investors. They want a nation of debtors. They want you smart enough to push the buttons on the machine, but too dumb to realize you are part of the machine. So how do we break this cycle? How do we escape the January slaughterhouse? It requires a level of radicalism that will make you uncomfortable. It requires you to become a social pariah. You have to kill the consumer inside you. You have to look at a calendar not as a series of holidays and spending obligations, but as a battlefield. First, you need to adopt the philosophy of the 13-month year.
Stop living on the 12-month cycle the system gave you. The banks operate on a continuous timeline. So should you. There is no start and stop. There is only accumulation or destruction. When December comes, you do not participate. I am serious. You opt out. You tell your family, we are not doing the consumerist ritual this year. They will cry. They will call you a Scrooge. They will say you are ruining the magic. Good. The magic is a marketing spell designed to pickpocket you. Tell them the magic is that daddy isn't going to die of a stress-induced heart attack at 55 because he is drowning in debt. That is the real gift. Freedom, security, a father who is present because he isn't working overtime to pay for plastic garbage. Second, you need to embrace the month of nothing. If you are in the red right now, if you are feeling that January squeeze, you declare martial law on your finances. No eating out, no coffee shops, no subscriptions. You cancel everything. You strip your life down to the absolute bare essentials: shelter, heat, basic nutrition. You do not spend a single penny on entertainment. You stare at the wall if you have to. You need to detox your brain from the need to spend. You need to feel the boredom. Boredom is good. Boredom is where ideas come from. When you are constantly entertained by the circus of spending, you cannot think. You need to reclaim your mental sovereignty. Third, stop playing the credit score game. The credit score is a behavior modification score. It measures how good of a little pet you are to the banks. Oh, look at me. I have an 800 score. Congratulations, you are a professional borrower. You are a champion slave. The wealthy do not obsess over their FICO score. They obsess over their net worth. There is a massive difference. One is a measure of how well you handle debt. The other is a measure of how much you own. Shift your focus. Stop trying. It measures how good of a little pet you are to the banks. Oh, look at me. I have an 800 score. Congratulations, you are a professional borrower. You are a champion slave. The wealthy do not obsess over their FICO score. They obsess over their net worth. There is a massive difference. One is a measure of how well you handle debt. The other is a measure of how much you own. Shift your focus. Stop trying to get points and miles. Those are crumbs they throw to the pigeons. You are chasing a free flight to nowhere while they are buying the airline. You have to understand the architecture of the matrix you are living in. Every commercial, every billboard, every influencer on this platform is a guard in the prison. They are all whispering the same lie. You are not enough. But you can be enough if you buy this. You have to develop an immunity to this virus. You have to look at a luxury car and not feel envy, but pity. When you see a neighbor pull up in a brand new $90,000 truck, you shouldn't think, wow, he's doing well. You should think, wow, that is a lot of interest payments. That is a heavy chain he is wearing. Once you flip that switch in your brain, once you see debt as danger and consumerism as weakness, you become immune. You become a ghost in the machine. The reason you start every January in the red is that you are living a life you cannot afford to impress people who do not matter. It is a cliche because it is true.
But let's go deeper. You are doing it because you are terrified of the silence.
You buy things to fill the void where your purpose should be. You reset in January because you have no long-term vision, only short-term cravings. A man with a 10-year plan does not get derailed by a Christmas sale. A woman with a mission does not bankrupt herself for a holiday party. If you want to win, you have to stop resetting. You have to start building. You need a fortress, not a tent that blows over every time the calendar turns. This requires you to be cold. It requires you to be ruthless with your own desires. It requires you to look at that sale sign and see it for what it is, a trapdoor. Here is the pact. Here is the secret handshake for those of you who are actually listening, for the 0.1% who are ready to kill the rat inside. I want you to go to the comments right now. I don't want your praise. I don't want your emojis. I want you to write a phrase that signifies you see the bars of the cage. I want you to write, "The calendar is a cage." Write it. The calendar is a cage. Because until you realize that time is being used as a weapon against you, you will never control your money. Stop waiting for next January. Stop waiting for the right time. The reset is a lie. There is only the climb. And the climb is hard, and it is cold, and nobody is going to carry you. You have to drop the baggage, drop the ego, drop the need to look rich. Embrace the power of being invisible and stacking your resources while the rest of the world burns their money to stay warm for a night. Wake up. The year didn't reset.
The game just got harder, and you are already losing. Change the strategy, or accept your fate as livestock. The choice is yours. Now get to work.